All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the immortal Bobby Melendez, joined by Yevgeny, the big red Russian machine, the real Drago.
Hi
Drago,
guys,
how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be here and with this interview and just let's go.
Let's roll. Let's roll, man. Well, before we roll on, I always love to get before we get into the wrestling questions, love to get to know you.
Mhm.
We talked a little bit before the show, but just, first off, how did this start, man? Where are you from? When did you start loving professional wrestling, and what got you on your journey to eventually do what you're doing now?
So okay, everybody knows. So I'm from Russia, uh, and back in the time we don't know like what the wrestling is like because it's like was very new for us. In 1998, when I changed channels on a TV and I found professional wrestling. It was WCW show, and like damn, and I stopped like, oh my god, what is this? Like, and I see Hulk Hogan there. It was like time like NWO, NWA. Oh no, no NWO. Sorry,
Yes, the
and
New World Order.
yep, New World Order, and it was like Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, Sting, like all like probably the best icons that time, Kevin Nash. So, and I started watching this, and I realized it's pro wrestling because I think in 1996 I played in a Sega Mega Drive, and I had a game WrestleMania '95. It was cool game, so like one of my favorite, and I kind of like I knew what wrestling is a little bit, and I finally saw it on the TV like first time ever, and I was in love. Like, and I was in school, and when I back to school, everybody talking about this, like because it was very very new for us, and everybody like it. But we don't know like that it was like not like real. It's a show. It's like not real like MMA or UFC fight, but we still like it, and we will believe that it's real. So so it was what was the first time when I saw on the TV. And later, me and my brother, I have like a younger brother, we start playing wrestling like in real. We broke couple beds, in our apartment. So I mean, like that's how I start to know what wrestling is. And I like a lot of guys like Goldberg back in the time, Scott Steiner, like Scott Hall was like probably my favorite at that time.
Yes, man.
And and like when I was grow, like I got the dream, like I want to be a professional wrestler, but I know it was so hard for me to do because we don't have in Russia at that time any school. Nobody kind of know what the wrestling is, like it was like very very new for us. And my mom she bought computer for me, personal computer, and and like we joined to internet, and I start watching everything like in the internet, watching some news about wrestling and everything. I just start follow what's going on, and I realized like, oh, it's not the promotion WWF back in the time. Now it's WWE. So like, okay, it's not only one promotion. Like, okay, it's like so many companies. Like I realized, So it was kind of my like a teenager's dream to be professional wrestler. But later, when I moved 2014 to United States, so I moved to Minnesota, and I follow the Experience Fitness gym. And that gym, I saw Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes.
So I play him on an Xbox back in the time. Why I remember him very well because he was in a PlayStation, kind of like a first guy who really talking on his entrance. So that's why I like really remember him. And we start talking. He invited me to school, and in 2018, I joined to school to the Academy of Professional Wrestling in Minneapolis. So he was my first coach.
That is amazing, dude. And especially someone like him, who is amazing on the mic as a character. to bring you in. Is that why you moved from Russia to the United States? Was to follow your dream as a professional wrestler? Or did you
No,
guys?
no, 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 no. I just married with a girl, and her mom was living in United States in Minnesota. She
Yeah.
got married with an American guy, and she invited us like to United States. Like, okay, guys, do you want to try? Maybe you will be like it. We had a first visit in 2012, and we were here like 3 months in Minnesota, and I said, yes, I want to move here. I like this country so much. So in 2014, we moved to United States. We just was waiting like when she finished her education. So that's why we were waiting that long time, and I moved in 2014. But 4 years I tried, learn English, get job, do exercise, and that. But that time I met Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. So
That's amazing, man. And you kind of stated it. So your first introduction to professional wrestling was WCW, Hollywood
yes,
Hogan, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash. That was my next question. When you were growing up, were you a WWF guy or were you a WCW guy?
I still I still WCW guy because it was the first promotion what I started watching, and for me, I think it's unique time, especially like you have your logo. It's remind me NWO. So
Yes, it's a tribute, man.
yeah, and it's like it was a great time. It was a great war between the two promotions too. That's why everybody tried to do the best what they can do. It was perfect storylines for both promotions, and actually they helped to grow to WWF too, because they start
Yes, 100%.
fight for the ratings, and I mean, like it was a great time for both promotions. I like Attitude Era too, and but I still like with my heart still with WCW.
Oh, dude, that warms my heart because I'm a WCW guy, and we just did a WCW series. Me and my co-host Josh Kimmel for that Who Killed WCW. I don't know if you were able to see that.
I watched. I just didn't watch like episode 3. I watched like first, second, and fourth, and I need to watch third one.
The Vince Russo episode. Yeah, it was great, and obviously, they're all, the pinpointing blame and all that. And I have my own opinion on it, but it brought back so many memories, and it's like,
yes.
I just started with my son not too long ago, because we have Peacock. I watched the first WCW Nitro when Eric Bischoff took over with Lex Luger showing up, and we're watching every Nitro, and then we'll watch the pay-per-view, and it just brings me back to my childhood. And I just love hearing the story of you and your younger brother. I used to do the same with my younger brothers. We had a whole it wasn't, I want to say it's like, say backyard wrestling, like, oh, we're going to, hit you. No, we didn't do that. But we would sneak out. We were diehard wrestling fans, and we still are, but I was the immortal Robert Michaels. I was the bad guy. I think playing heel is always the best. The heels are the best.
I love it. Yeah, it's like it's different. It's just different, and you can create so many things.
Gives you so much freedom, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. And plus, I love reaction. Like when you do something and you have reaction from the crowd. Damn, I love it so much.
That's amazing. Yeah, we used to have a blast, dude. We'd bring out the bed and we sneak it out past our mother and our stepfather, and we'll take it out in the backyard and we'll lay it. And we used to have a video camera. We get smoke bombs. We used to do whole entire shows. And I was growing up. I was like, man, I want to be a professional wrestler. Of course, life took me on a different journey. I still love it, and I'm still very impassioned by it. But for you to live that journey, that's amazing, man. So being a WCW guy, right? And still in your heart, you're a WCW guy. So who was your favorite wrestler growing up? When you were in Russia, you were watching, you're like, this is the guy. I love this guy. I want to watch him.
I mean, of course, everybody knows who is Hulk Hogan, right? So because like in Russia was very popular TV show, Thunder in the Paradise or something.
Thunder in Paradise, yeah.
Yep. So that time everybody knows who is Hulk Hogan. And of course you can see some him and some other movies too. So I think that time I was like Hulk Hogan too, but probably if you ask me like who was my favorite, I think I really follow to Goldberg because he was like the big strong machine. Like he like strong guy. I didn't know like how good he was because that time I was a fan and I don't really know like right wrestling technique, whatever. He was my one of my favorite, and Scott Hall, like of course Scott Hall.
Oh, I love that answer. And we're going to get into your style of wrestling and all that. I love the answer of Goldberg. Obviously, yeah, for me, the same with WCW, I would say. And, obviously now some people have their opinions, but I was a huge Hollywood Hogan guy. Loved Hulk Hogan, loved Hollywood Hogan, bad Hogan. I was always like, even when they figure Poke of Doom, I was like, yeah, Hogan won, down with that. Now,
Yeah,
Scott Hall, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I mean like yeah, like when you were a fan, like back in the time, especially like now every fan is smart because 2024 everybody's so smart, they know everything about wrestling. But back in the time, like especially like when I started watching wrestling, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know like what's supposed to be right, what's supposed to be not right. And for me, everything was entertainment, like I like every moment and like you said, like when he Kevin Nash spoke Hogan, right? So it was a sad moment for me. Yeah, like you said, like damn, he's won. Yeah, perfect. So
And that's what's lost now with fans. I think, with wrestling, with movies, whatever, everyone has an opinion. Of course, you got social media. They don't just sit back and enjoy the show. It's always like, oh, this guy should have gone over. And it's just sit down. For me, it's like, yeah, okay, something could have been different, but I just want to enjoy the show. And that's what's lost.
It's what we want. Like, just come to the show, forget about everything that's going on in your life, just enjoy and watch kind of like a movie. That's it. Watch storylines in the ring. That's it.
100%. And Scott Hall, love that. And I think it's when people say who's your favorite wrestler, you go, okay, there's the big guys. You got Goldberg, you got Hogan, but you got a lot of these other guys that didn't win the world title. Like for Scott Hall, one of those. I love listening to Scott Hall interviews when he's talking about wrestling, talking about character build up and how not to, how to sell whatever. I just love listening to him. He was one of the smartest guys. And
he like how Sting got his character
that's right. He helped create the cross.
Idea.
That's right, 100%. So, and what he did in the ring to put guys over, it was amazing. Arn Anderson's another guy that I really liked. Looking back at his matches back in the day. So, getting back to you, man. Well, let's go with this one. You had your Goldberg, Scott Hall. I watched about 3 of your matches last night. It was Curtis Coleman. You won by a spear, which was that was a fun match. Talk to me about that, man.
Which one you watched? Like, because we had 2 matches with him. One was in Puerto Rico and GZW, and another one was in North Carolina. I think it was what the promotion I forgot.
It may have been the North Carolina one. I don't think it was Puerto Rico. That would have been cool. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. It was our first match for the GCW main event heavyweight title. You need to watch first one too. Like, I love that.
Let's see. I think Curtis Coleman 2 at Super
yeah,
Clash.
Yeah. So it's in North Carolina. It was second.
Okay, but that was a fun one, man. And
yes,
I got to tell you, again, I was watching this and I was watching some of your interviews, and first off, the character, the style, I wrote it down. I was like, this guy is old school. I love the way you present yourself and the way what you're performancing and your performance in the ring. Is that on purpose? And who are you modeling your style of wrestling to? Is there any particular wrestler you're like, man, I want to kind of see how he does it and follow how he does it?
Not really like one guy, but okay, it's like another, like, continue my story about pro wrestling, so in 2019 I decided to move to Florida, okay, and of course I started doing wrestling that time, and as soon as I moved to Florida, it was COVID time. Everybody remembers this time, so everything was closed, so I spent like 1 year just doing nothing technically, and like when COVID gone, I started looking for some school, and I found another school in Florida, Largo. It was FTW school, Fight the World Wrestling. Now it's NWA territory in Florida. So, and it's two coaches were there. It's Brian Idol and Natalia Markova. She's a NWA superstar right now. She wrestled all around the world, Japan, Mexico, Puerto Rico, like everywhere. So, and they start teach me. It was totally different. Like in Minnesota school, we had like a steps, like you need to learn this first, you need to learn this first, second, like step by step. Before when you start doing like your first move, it's a long time. In them school is different. They teach you like for everything from the first day, like everything, drills, everything, like everything, absolutely everything. And she kept focus on me, especially for my personality and my character. She spent 1 year like to push me for my character, and I think what like my style came from these lessons all the time. That no matter what, I need to stay in a character. So and she like American style of wrestling and Japanese style, like little brutal things. So it's what they try to put on me, and I realized like big guy. Okay, I'm big guy, so I'm supposed to be big guy, and everybody wanna see in the ring big guy, right?
Yes.
Strong big guy. They don't wanna see from me flips. They don't wanna see from me like chain wrestling, which I like do that, but like you need to be big, strong guy. It's what people want to see. They want to see like big, bad Russian.
That's right. Yeah.
So and I realized that time like, damn, it's true. Like, why I need to do so many different like things, like these flips and crazy things. Like nobody cares. Like people still want to see character.
Yeah.
And as soon as I start working for different promotions and I see promoters and I see what people talking about, and everybody say like, oh yeah, this guy is okay, but we don't know what the character is. And like, okay, like as more as I have experience, I understand like character is most important things, you know. And I start keep focus on that, and finally I got it. So I mean, like, yes, and Natalia told me like, okay, watch this guy, watch this guy, watch this guy, and I prefer like I started watching some different guys, but again, you don't need to be like model or something. You need to be you. You need to be unique. You need to be you. Don't try to copy someone. You can find some like maybe like some cool punches or something, but just try to be you. It's what I got. Like I just me. I'm not more than anybody. I just try to be me.
No, that's cool, man, and makes absolute sense. It's really cool to know that story and for what she was able to instill in you and what that's brought out of you. Because again, I'm gonna watch a lot more because the match with Thom Lattimore, I really liked. That one was a loss, but I liked that a lot, and he looks like he could do some really good in the future as well. But again, that you guys fed off each other really well too. Him as kind of the face, you as the heel, the way you played the crowd. Extreme Phenom was a fun match.
It was kind of like one of my first matches.
Was that one really okay?
Yeah, I was like green, So yeah, and the promoter he decided to put the main belt on me. We had like 2 matches with this guy, and it was like my first that time. It was my first 25 minutes match, which is like okay.
Well, yeah, I saw that the amount of time that you were in there.
Yeah,
it wasn't some short match. 25, I think. No, not 25. Was it 20 minutes? That match went on. I think
20 something. Yeah. But maybe they cut a little bit. But I remember the time was 25 minutes, whatever. So yeah, it's kind of was like good challenge for me too, like because I never had like that long match, And I was so nervous that time because like main event, championship, big guy, like very big guy. So I mean like, but yeah, which we did like, but he was on a break like almost like 2 years because it was COVID time. They didn't have a shows, and he come back on the wrestling industry like after 2 years, I think. You know. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was a lot of people, kind of like first time when I had like so many people like that. Like it was like thousands. Like it was Mama Con. Like they walk all the time. Like So it was fun.
So, talking, you've talked about how you fell in love with professional wrestling, your childhood from Russia to the United States. WCW fan, the type of wrestlers, and how you built your character, how you became dedicated to making this character and being a physical specimen in the ring. But how did Yevgeny became Yevgeny to the real Drago, the big red Russian machine? How did that happen? Where did the real Drago come from?
So okay, in Minnesota, I have my friend. He's a promoter of MAW, and he invites me all the time. Like, okay, when are you gonna start? When are you gonna start? When are you gonna start? I said, okay. So I need to choose a name because I don't know what my name will be. So the first name was Russian Shark, and when I got this name, everybody said like especially from Russian people, it's like we don't have a sharks around. Like, why you choose a shark? But like all my life, I was in love with sharks. So it's like I was like wrestling a lot and Joe's movie. So
there you go. Okay.
So, and another movie, what I really was like, the Rocky movie. So
Rocky, yes. Oh yeah, and then Ivan Drago. There you go.
So, and I said like, okay, Russian Shark probably not will be work. Okay, I need to choose another name, and I found name Grozny. Grozny, it's it's a family name of the king who was many years ago in Russia, and he was a bad guy. He killed so many people, whatever. Like everybody knows, he's a bad guy and big. He was tall guy. So, but when I started talking with my friend, and he said like, it's probably will be hard to pronounce this name like Grozny, and nobody knows who that, like what it means. I said okay. So what about Drago? He said Drago's work. Drago will be perfect. Everybody knows about the Russian guy from Rocky movie. I said okay, and I tried to find the internet. Anybody like choose this name before, and I found Mexican guy. He's a Drago. I said okay, it cannot be like two Dragos, right? It's like okay, I will be the real Drago. Why the real Drago? Because uh, Drago from Rocky movie he lost. He lost. I never lost, so I never lose. And that's why I will be the real Drago.
Okay, there you
So
go.
that's how I choose my name, and everybody like it. Everybody like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like yeah, let's do that. So
And you MAW, that's Midwest All Star Wrestling.
Yep.
And that's in Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Minnesota,
Are you
Wisconsin?
say what?
They do in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay. And are you still with MAW, or are you freelancing, going to different promotions?
Yeah, I'm freelancer, but I keep focusing on NWA. So I already was there 4 times, and it's kind of like my focus to be there.
NWA. I love that because that is true old school. I always love kind of taking a look at NWA.
That's why I want to be there. Yeah, exactly. They keep kind of like an old style of wrestling. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So let me ask you that because that was going to be a later question, but since with NWA, what do you think currently of the current wrestling landscape with WWE, AEW, TNA? How are you liking it now? Because obviously a fan of WCW, I'm sure, and like me, a fan of the Monday Night Wars. It brought the best out of both companies. If you weren't happy what you saw with WCW, you turned on to WWF. Now it's kind of like that a little bit again with AEW and WWE. Obviously I think WWE is still, better product. But how do you feel about the current wrestling landscape, especially in your profession, where now you have not only just the indie promotions, but you have the major promotions where you're like, okay, hey, if I want to go here, I can go here. If I want to go there, I can go there. How do you feel about that?
I like for me like when I started like work for NWA, okay, like I already had like 4 matches. I was on like actual like pay-per-view in Chicago, and like I see so many like big talented guys, and they all professional, which is like it feels different, like they all professional. And again, like I was working with Tom Latimer 2 times, for example. It's so easy, like very easy to work, and this guy like very like high level, and when you wrestle with a guy like that, it feels different, you know. That's why for me, like I would like to wrestle, of course, like different maybe countries now. I cannot say like states, but again, I would like to be everywhere.
Yes.
But my more focus to be an NWA because I just like to be there. I like backstage, everybody professional. It feels different, you know, like it feels
Love
very.
that.
Yeah, and of course, WWE, TNA, I believe, MLW, like they're probably the same things. I never been there, and I don't want to go there too. Like maybe I don't know. Again, never say never, right?
Never
But
say never. Yeah.
yeah, but again, like my focus right now for NWA.
That's amazing. And you know what? And like, yeah, never say never, but you're in a place where you're comfortable. And again, NWA has such a storied history. And you
Yep.
know, it's
Yep.
with your
Exactly.
character, yeah, with your character and what you're doing there. And that it may be the perfect place where you're like, you know what, my goal is to build myself up here and to build that brand back up there. And then who knows what happens down the line. But that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and another things too, like I like them schedule like graphic, right? Like they don't do so many shows, right? So uh, people have a time to spend with the family. You know, if you're working for WWE, for example, you're always there. You know, like house show,
Yes.
you like you know, it's a lot of work. So I like I think I cannot do that because I want to stay with my family, like you know, more time. That's why I think NWA is perfect for me. Will be.
That's awesome. That is really cool. I love that answer. I think that's amazing. So let's NWA. You know, again, it's still such a it's you
It's
know
the most
it's
oldest promotion, I
that's
believe.
right. It has the history. It has. I mean, my favorite. First off, I love the big gold, which is the WCW belt. That's my favorite belt in the world. But my second
Me too.
one
My
that
too. I
yeah,
agree.
I love that belt. That's like nothing touches it. But the second one is the original NWA World Heavyweight title, the
Yep.
Ric Flair
Security.
Dusty Rhodes
Yep.
Championship. So
Very
let's
very historical.
100%. Let's play fantasy here, right? Let's dive in. NWA, you're there. You have a choice of any one opponent in the whole. It doesn't matter if he's WWE, TNA, whatever. He's coming to NWA. He's a major face. You got the big red Russian machine standing there. Who's your dream opponent? That once he walks through that locker room door, you're like, I want him one on one.
Mm. I don't want to say like my like really like my favorite opponent, like who I really want to work with. I think I want to work with everybody for
Uh huh.
sure. But of course, EC3 because he's a heavyweight champion right now.
Oh yeah.
But I really like work with Tom. Like I was like we worked like I said like we worked together 2 times. We met each other 3 times. I mean like in the ring, and it's always fun. He has so many ideas. Like when I told him like maybe we can do this, he said, "Yeah, I like it. Let's do that." You know, it's so easy to work with, and he's selling like he sell for me like a god. You know, like it's so good. Like I mean, like I don't know. Like every time when I'm with him in the ring, I learn something new. Like something new, and I would like to work with him again. And I'm sure we're gonna work together again. And we kind of have like a saga now, like two
Yes.
matches, and I'm sure it will be another
And
one.
Thom Lattimore.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, he's another one. When I watched, I was watching the whole thing, and I mean, again, the look, the character work, the selling was on point, and just
Yes.
the finish of that match was great. The
Yeah, and
crossface.
and I like because he's family guy. He married with a Camille. Very nice guy. Like I don't know. I like everything. You know.
That's awesome, man. That truly is. Um, see now, so working NWA, Ethan Carter, that's EC3, right?
Yep. Yep.
Who's the
Yep.
current NWA champion?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so obviously Thom Lattimore, but EC3, watch out because the real Drago's eyeing
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
Whenever it happens, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I think my character will be perfect for NWA because back in the times they had a Nikita Koloff.
Yes,
He was a
yes.
big star there, you know, and I mean like, why not? I remember like when I wrestled for MAW, and it was like Battle Royal match, and the commentator, Caitlin Damon, she was an ROH back in the time, so she said like, "Oh, I can say like I see another call off." So good, you know.
That's awesome, man. So, with the wanting to stay in the NWA, which is so freaking cool because of the history there. Big
Yep.
fan
Oh,
of, yeah.
1 second. Yeah, like a year ago, it was I think November. Yeah, we had two shows. We had a like NWA Invasion, NWA FTW Invasion. So, uh, and next day NWA had like power tapings in Roberts Arena. So Roberts Arena is like very historical place for NWA. They back in that arena after 35 years. So it was a very historical moment show in Sarasota. And I was there, so I was wrestled. Like it was dark match, but again, it was so cool to be in the history. You know, like they back in that arena after 35 years. It was so cool. It was thousand people in the crowd. Like, yeah. So
And again, and I think they started to go back to that. I hate that they don't have like a regular platform as like a WWE or AEW where you could watch a weekly show, because they have some very good talent in NWA. I think they got it back where, one thing I loved about NWA and watching those old tapes, and old, you go to YouTube, you go to WWE, Peacock, the WWE network. What NWA is when they would, do the interview off site and on the side there, and they, the guy would be in the ring, and then you got Sting, Surfer Sting, going. I love that little side thing. If I was running wrestle promotion, I'd do it like that old school type of feel to it.
But they now at CWTV, they have a contract, something like and a CWTV.
What channel's that?
CWTV.
Oh, okay.
It's an app. And Elsa, did you watch Billy Corgan Carniland reality show?
No. What was that?
You need to watch for sure. And like it seemed like very interesting to watch. Same like Who Killed WCW. They did reality show. It's like 8 episodes in a CW app, CW TV, whatever. Watch this. This is you can see it's like documentary. This is exactly what's going on right now. You can see every name, everything what's going on right now, and you can see how they grow. Very
awesome.
Very interesting, like super cool. And my coach, another coach, Brian Idol, he is this year he got a contract with them. He is a wrestler and promoter.
A wrestler and a promoter, and
yeah, you can see the names who helped to grow them.
The younger guys coming up.
Yep.
So
they will be growing like crazy, and they in a hype right now. So you need to watch this reality show for sure.
So when it's wrapped up, when we wrap it up, if you send me that name of that show, because I would definitely love to see that, and I definitely want to see watch more of the of NWA.
They were in YouTube, and now they got contract with the CW. That's why they now in the CW app. They moved there.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. So let me ask you this: what's next for the real Drago? What do you got coming up, man?
NWA.
NWA.
I'm focused on that. This is my goal to get contract with them, and so it's my goal. And
you have any events coming up?
The next time they will be in Florida area, and I think October it will be another Roberts Arena show. I'm sure I'm gonna be there, but it's my goal. So and Elsa already at part of FTW. It's like now NWA do territories, so they do collaboration with other promotions.
Yes.
So they try to back in the old school time, like they had territory back in the time. So like the promotion where I am, like FTW, F5 Wrestling, it's a part of NWA anyway. That's why I had a match with Tom Latimer for NWA National Championship, And it was historical moment because I was the first Russian guy, like real Russian guy, who was a challenger for NWA National Championship. So it was so cool too. So and I'm sure they have so many projects in the future. So I'm so excited. So I already kind of the part of that, you know. So
That is so cool, man. Well, I was gonna say, where can everybody find you? I'm gonna say NWA. Keep your eye out on
you
NWA.
can put the real Drago NWA, you can see something for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And oh man, let's see. If I had, I want to see. Would you? Do you have a next opponent coming up, or are you just waiting to see what gets booked?
I'm gonna have show on August 2nd. It will be MAW. It will be
Okay.
tag team match. Yeah. What else? I might will be in Chicago at the end of the month. I'm not really sure yet because they didn't text me again. And we're gonna have FTW shows. Like just keep eyes on that. Like FTW shows. It will be a lot of shows in front. And
Awesome.
NWA, of course.
And what else? I'm sorry.
And the NWA.
The
And
NWA.
my another goal. So it's another Russian guy in Mexico. He started his career right there. He already like 1 year there. He won't invite me to do tag team match with him in Mexico. He working for IWRG promotion, which is one the oldest promotion in Mexico. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. For me, it's like I don't want to like wrestle like each week like I did a year ago. Like I wrestle like every week each week. Like you know, like sometimes 3 matches in the weekend. You know, it was too much. I don't want to do that anymore. So now I try to choose something very interesting. You know, and my kind of another goal, I want to wrestle in different countries. So like Japan, Mexico, Puerto Rico again. I love Puerto Rico. Oh, also I wrestle in Orlando a few times already for IWA Florida.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm gonna have next show there too. So it's what I kind of do, you know, like little bit, but something very interesting. You know.
I love that, and I had it noted before, and I was trying to find it. But when you said wrestle around the world, that's another lost art, I think, in professional wrestling, in my opinion. Like if when not to say if when you win the NWA World Title, I would say that's wrestle around the world against the other guy's opponents. That's one thing I think is lost because I would love to see you.
That's why NWA they do that because EC3 he traveling right now around the world. He was in Europe, I think a week or two ago. He defended his title right there.
Yeah, you see that to me because no, I'm not knocking anyone's title because it's obviously you got WWE, AEW, whatever, but they're going against their guys and they're usually in the United States. They go different around, but it's still wrestling their guys. But if EC3 or the real Drago wrestles against the best wrestler in Europe, or they defend the title against the best wrestler in Japan or Puerto Rico, whatever, then you're the real world's champion.
I absolutely agree. I like idea, and I like ideas that they do that. So
yes,
it's not many promotions do that, like
they don't. And I, again, I get it. I don't, I guess to a point, but I've talked about this before with Josh on our show. I would love for any of the top promotions to do that with a world champion, and then you can introduce new guys from around the world that other guys aren't normally seeing.
Exactly. You can get new fans, new people who can watch your show. Exactly. It's how you can grow.
It's networking, basically.
Like if you're looking for the indie wrestling, okay? So I see oh my God, I see so many guys. Like I saw so many talented guys who get stuck in the one state. And the rest are usually for one promotion all them life. It doesn't work. Like you need to go in different state, wrestle to present yourself everywhere and how you can build your name and how you can get experience because you cannot wrestle all the time with the same guys in the same promotion all your life. It's tough, same for big promotions. Exactly, it's now WWE traveling right now. Like they do like
Oh, and they're killing it. They're PLEs across,
Yep.
going across the sea, in France and whatever. Those shows have been, the crowds have been amazing.
French, especially. You saw the French. Oh my
Dude,
God!
and Puerto Rico and Backlash. Puerto Rico and Backlash was amazing with
yeah.
Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, which was funny, but it was a great match.
It's one of the main country for professional wrestling. People love that, and I love. I was like to be there because the crowd is different, and they don't care like you're heel or face. If they like you, they will be cheer you.
I it's so true. Again, as we talked about before the show, my wife is from the island. She grew up there. My in-laws all there. Now we're all here. We moved from Florida to Tennessee, but on an average day, they're not really paying attention to wrestling. But when they start talking about wrestling in Puerto Rico with Colon and company and the story there, they get all hyped up. When the Backlash in Puerto Rico was going down, and they had all these, you had Carlito show up, Bad Bunny with Damian Priest, that main event, the crowd itself, my in-laws, my wife, they all came out to the living room. They were all hyped. They were loving it. That tells you the passion they have. My wife remembers going to those promotions and watching that wrestling when she was growing up, and watching who would show up, from different companies. They'd show up there and do it. So that just tells you the passion that's outside the United States. And that's why, again, it's such an opportunity for even NWA, who, again, to, the casual fan right now who might not really be paying attention, but to the hardcore fans, but to go outside of the country and defend the title, or to go do shows outside the country to introduce new fans, but also introduce new guys, and then, then you could say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the WWE title, that's huge. AEW, that's cool. But the NWA title, we've defended against this guy, never. That's the real championship.
Yeah, like right now I think he was already in Japan, he was in Europe, so it's so cool. And it's not the wrong guy. It's not the wrong guy who presents the title to. He's a cool.
Absolutely. We got Anthony Manzano in the comments there, and he does have a couple questions.
Sure.
So let's put that out here. Anthony's watches the show a lot. Good dude.
Hi, Anthony.
Yeah. He says, Drago, when I see you wrestle, I see a lot of Vladimir Kozlov. There you go. Very interesting. This one here. Do you wish that the WXPW was still around as a promotion closer to you, so you don't have to go all the way across to England or the United States? He is in the United States, right?
Yeah, I'm in the United
Is the WXPW, Anthony? Is that a professional wrestling company in Russia or close to? And we asked this one earlier, but I'll let Drago answer that again. But I guess what we talked about earlier, Drago, was just, do you have any goal in mind about eventually going to any kind of those major companies? But do what you say what you were saying before, so Anthony could hear it. What your goal in mind is, as WWE, AEW, or NWA,
or like all promotion around the world. If some promotion from England, Germany, or wherever invite me, I'm go. So yeah,
there you go.
But again, it's like my main goal to be part of NWA for sure, right? But I would like to wrestle for any good promotions around the country or countries. So
yeah, and that's the thing. You're focused. First off, it's just about building you up and getting to where you need to get to. But your goal in mind, which I think is great. It's like, yeah, those guys are great, but I'm here. I'm focused on the NWA. I want to go there, and I want to win that title. I want to build myself up there, and obviously build up that brand. I mean, how great would it be for the world of professional wrestling if the NWA was back at the level it used to be? That would be the most perfect scenario for everybody.
Yep.
Let's make sure I'm not missing anything here. Any comments?
It's probably early right now. It's probably it's Sunday, right? Or Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
People probably sleeping, day before Monday. So everybody
it's all good, we'll get more as it comes in there, and it's
yeah, absolutely.
And it happens all the time. But NWA, which is Midwest All-Star Wrestling, you were the champion there. how many times have you held gold, world champions or titles?
Actually, I just got my title, and I got injury, so I got.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, I supposed to finish my year like 2023 with 4 titles, 4 different titles, MAW, some another ones. So, but I got injured in the main event to get my title, and that's why I skipped so many months after because I had a surgery. You know.
It happens, man. It's unfortunate, but it
Yeah,
happens.
wrestling is dangerous. Again, like you never know what can happen. But the most important things after that. So some people stop their career. Some people get stress, depression, or something. I'm not that guy. Each time I have something, it just make me stronger next time. So
I absolutely get that. I meant to ask you that because you did bring up, there was a time where you were wrestling 3 times a week, and you're like, "Hey, I can't do that. I'm a family man. I like to be home and spend time." The wear and tear of wrestling 3 times a week. Talk about
it
that,
was.
man.
I mean, like it was too much. It's like again, like it's maybe like for like when you're beginner, like a green guy and to get experience. Yes, but again, don't be that crazy too. Like don't try to get everything for the same time. Keep keep focus on the main cool things. And don't waste your time for something small things. It's what I can say. uh you don't need to wrestle like 3 times a week. You don't need to. You just
Yeah.
will be more tired, spend more energy, and you need more time for recovery. Like it's what I can say. Uh, so yeah, I mean, like it was too crazy, and that's why it's happened. Like one day I just like didn't keep really focused, and I was tired, and that's why it's happened. You know.
Here's a good question from Anthony. I think that's a good one. Says Drago, as a big guy wrestler, how hard is it for you? Your style as a physical wrestler, who uses the size to a smaller guy who is a high flyer. I guess he's saying compared to how hard is it more to be a physical wrestler with your style compared to a smaller guy who might be a more high flying type of wrestler?
I mean, like every style is it's not easy. To be a professional wrestler, it's not easy. It doesn't matter what style is. It's just the different styles. Uh, they like there's no reason to do like for example for me high fly because smallest guy will be doing better. It's no reason to do it for me, and people don't want to see it. So every style is different, and every style is not easy. The high fly guys, they do them high fly, and it's easy for them. The physical guys, they do physical things, and it's kind of like a little bit easier for me to do that than high fly guy will be do some physical stuff. So, but again, it's all teamwork. Doesn't matter what it's all teamwork. If someone did mistake, it's mistake for both of them. So, and but what I can say, I like wrestle with high fly guys. Sometimes it's fun. You can and it's cool to do that. I like small guys too. Like I'm not the guy who like, oh, I don't want to wrestle with a small guy. No, I always have a fun, and we always can do something cool.
And I think that's what he was asking there. He came back and said what he meant to ask was, how do you adjust your style to wrestle either a big guy or a small guy? You said you like wrestling the small guys.
Yeah, it's all psychology. Like, what the biggest guy? How the biggest guy can wrestle with a small guy? He tried to catch him, but he cannot because this guy is faster. It's what it is. Like it's always like a cat with a mouse.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Tom
and
and
again,
Jerry. Tom and Jerry.
100%. And to me, and again, you correct me if I'm wrong. You're the expert. For me, if it's a big guy like you, against a faster guy, we throw any guy in there, and you're playing that cat and mouse game. At that point, it's the selling, it's the story. You're
And again, I really like when the big guy is a bad guy, of course, and
of
small guy
course.
is a face. It's perfect.
Well, it's a lot more fun, and it's fun for the audience as well.
Exactly. Yep.
That's really cool, Anthony. Man, thank you for those questions,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you. That's a good question.
Um, so Drago, as we wrap this up, obviously you say, hey, you know what? Look for me in the NWA, Midwest All Star Wrestling, and anywhere really. But social media wise, that way people could just follow where you're going and follow you along. Where can people find you on social media?
Instagram, like it will be I am without a the real Drago. Facebook, I have Yevgeny Adilov, and I have the real Drago too. It's like 2 pages, and this is social media what I really used. I think I'm an X2, but I don't really use that platform. And I think it's I'm the real Drago or the real Drago, probably the real Drago.
Yeah, I actually found you on there. Let's see. It's so that way I could read it. It's oh, and forgive me if I butcher it here. It's at Adilov Yevgeny.
Yep, the real
So
Drago something fun. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I
So
don't really use that platform. I still like don't really understand how to use it. Like I just
it's okay. I get it.
so yeah, I just open back in the time, like put sometimes something and just like. But usually I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So
And I will say, Instagram, you are active on there.
yep, very
I
active.
mean, you and I were commenting back and forth. I would be like, maybe he'll see it in a couple of hours, and also you would respond right away. So I was like, oh, perfect. All
Yeah.
right, cool. So, guys, if you want to connect with the real Drago or follow along with his story, his wrestling journey, you really Instagram, Facebook, as he said,
Yep.
and again, get it. Go,
Everybody welcome.
yeah, and I'm going to recommend to everyone who tunes in, who's watching now, wherever you're watching, whether it's on X or Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, or even after the show, go check him out. Go follow his pages, but go to YouTube, check out some of his matches. Again, for me, and I told him this before the show, it's you are the type of wrestler that I grew up loving to watch. Those old school guys in the ring as well. It's good ring work. Even when you said that was your first match, you were still green at that point. Really enjoyed the way you sold your character. You did the slow pace and then good fast, and then obviously dominating. And then just the character itself. There was one interview that I saw. I think it was a couple that you had somebody by your side. You just stayed quiet.
This is fourth interview on this month actually.
Oh, really? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's like so many interviews. Like I can say right now, I probably don't remember like all the guys. Like it was so many interviews for this time. For my
Well,
3 years active wrestling, so many interviews.
Well, and I appreciate you taking the time. And I know how
Oh,
busy
no
you
problem.
are.
I love do that.
Oh, for sure. I would say though, as the character, there was one that I saw. I think it was at a promotion. But again, obviously you're a great talker. I'll say that. When you
Thanks
have
so
talk,
much.
when you
You
cut
too.
your promo, thank you, bro. When you cut your promo, man, you're right on. But that when you and obviously you seem like a great guy, like you're very out there, make somebody feel comfortable. But you could make someone feel really uncomfortable because I was seeing one of these promos that you were doing and you didn't say a freaking word, bro. You didn't say a word. You just stay there. I mean, if I was this guy with the microphone and I forgot the guy, it was the guy with long hair and he was just like, I'll talk. I'm going to talk for him. And that was how you had the belt. Yeah, it was
won my title.
the NWA. Yeah, you had the title on you. You just stare. If I'm going, so tell me, what did and I look at the side, you're just giving me a dead ass stare. I'm going, holy crap. I was like, this dude, I was like, all right, we'll see what he brings tomorrow. Like, holy crap. So I got to tell you, man, you got your game, dude. And it's going to take a matter of time when NWA or anybody says, we need to get this guy because you do one hell of a job. Legit.
Thank you so much. I will be better anyway. So
that's right.
Like what I can say too, for everybody, like for beginners or active wrestlers, it's like it's never wrong to learn something new. Like you always can learn something. Don't be stuck. Always learn something new.
That's amazing, man. It's great too. It's great advice. Anthony, a couple of your questions there we have talked about. So if you just joined us a little while ago, we're fast rewind the show a little bit and you'll see some of Drago's answers about who he liked growing up as a young wrestling fan, who he models his style of wrestling from, and his psychiatry. Again, he was a WCW fan growing up. Watched Hulk Hogan, enjoyed Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, Scott Hall. So I hope that answers some of your questions there that we talked about earlier. Drago, I have to thank you again for giving me the time to come on here. I hope it's not the last time. I would love to get you back on.
I do it again. Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. Everyone, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. This is No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. I'm the immortal Robert Michaels. That's the real Drago, the big red Russian machine. Oh. There you go. Check him out, and hopefully NWA, future NWA world champion. Until then, guys, have a great Sunday. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.